they're going to be good until the end of time. That and that,
Yeah,
that gallon of pudding. I don't think that goes bad either.
You got a gallon of pudding?
I've seen gallons of pudding. I mean, I don't know. That's got to be a thing, right? I mean, not all the food's going to last forever, but this says it's good until May of 2024, or Best Buy. How much worse could they be? I mean, what are they going to get a little soft on me?
No way. They might get like hard
Moldy?
candy. No,
like
no.
Harder?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I'll just suck on them longer before I start chewing them.
Nerds.
I have to soften my nerds. I'll put them in a bowl.
That's not a euphemism for something. You actually really are
And
soft.
I'm going to put a little water on them and maybe microwave them for a minute, like a grape nut.
Yeah.
And a little sugar.
How did we come by these nerds, sir?
These were sent by our good friend Dylan McCurchie and Leslie from Dylan Talks Tone. Dylan and Leslie.
It's my understanding that Leslie prefers nerds.
That's exactly right.
That's why she's with Dylan.
That was
No. That's not what I meant.
What's her favorite candy?
Yeah, Spree. All green.
Yeah, I prefer nerds.
I know. We can come by your old man.
What's the female equivalent of a nerd? I mean,
nerd. Okay.
Well, but usually when you say nerd, it's a guy, right?
I don't know. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, maybe. I'm gonna think about that. Maybe somebody will chime in with
nerdette. Come up.
Nerdette. Yeah.
All right. Is it time to do this? Yep.
I guess.
You think Ike is done? Over at the flip side? I bet he is.
Probably.
Hey, everybody. This is Matt. We're at Texas Toast Guitars. Thanks for joining us for a Thursday live stream. We've done so many live streams lately that it kind of was nice to take a little break, and it's kind of nice to come back and not really have anything to talk about. That, like, hey, here we are at the pin router. Here's a bunch of shit happening.
Yeah, show me your project.
Yeah.
How's it going? What did you think?
Did you guys like the everyday live stream from the workshop? I had fun doing those.
I thought that was a pretty cool way to document what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't take a lot of work. We've proven that we can't do it any other way. I mean, we've tried to film and put it in some other form, that's just impossible. Once
classes start going, it's really hard to go, oh crap, I got to get my phone and take a picture. And
stop, everybody.
Yeah,
I'm gonna film.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was a pretty cool way and it was pretty cool to be able to keep up with.
You could see the play-by-play, right?
Yeah. And for us, I thought, and we've had decent viewership on those. So I think,
have we? I haven't even looked to see.
I think people enjoyed them. I mean, it's pretty. Cool. It's our average live stream kind of thing. So
okay, right on.
I thought that was pretty neat. And I didn't have to feel guilty about not doing any filming.
Yeah. So, are you leaving, Brandon?
I'm gonna go meet up with Sam.
Where is she going?
I don't know if she's bringing rigs over to the backyard. I don't know. But she's
okay.
getting out of work right now, so
well, maybe we'll see you after this. Mm-hmm. Whatever. Okay. Yeah. So it looks like you guys don't get to hang out with Brandon tonight. You're stuck with me and Chris, and I'm okay with that too because as I've said many times, Chris is the coolest person I know. So, hey, so
you hang out with a lot of nerds then.
So anyway, Chris, what's been going on this week?
Well, back to the same old grind.
Kind of,
not really.
But
I'm super
we have some
excited
new
about
stuff happening.
Some stuff that's going on, and I don't want to spill beans.
How much can we tell everybody about? Brandon?
Not really much, but I'm pretty excited about some stuff we got going on. Working on some old projects this week, doing some new stuff. What
I'm most a fan of is the list of old projects is getting smaller, and the list of new projects is getting bigger. That is not to say that we have no old projects sitting around. There's one that I can think of in particular that needs to get some. That the guy who commissioned it will be grateful that it gets done before he's dead.
Yeah,
you know the one I'm talking about. Yeah,
yeah. There's a bunch of stuff that needs to get done.
But it's getting done.
Yeah, it's slowly moving forward. But yeah, it's weird. Well, yeah.
And yeah, so if you've got a project that's been sitting for a while, don't worry, we haven't forgotten about you. We're
working on them.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you've got some one of the new ones that's coming out, be very grateful that you are getting something cool.
Mm-hmm.
Because, well, no, actually, that's wrong. Can I take that back? I don't want to say it like that. That's incorrect. Don't be grateful that you have something cool. What I mean is, Chris and I are still working very, very hard. We're turning out more guitars, and we're just getting better at doing it, I think.
In a lot of ways, yeah. And sometimes, not all the time, you might end up getting something cooler than you would have gotten a year ago or 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Not always, but
one of the things that you and I talked about almost to the day a year ago was when we looked up at the wall. We don't have any guitars on the wall anymore. They're all in carts now. But when we look at the carts of guitars, we don't want to see a bunch of things that aren't our models.
Yeah. I was just thinking about that when I was washing my hands.
Okay.
As you know, when I wash my hands, I do a lot of deep thinking.
You spend the exactly right amount of time washing.
Uh-huh. But it's weird how this is probably it's going to come out the wrong way. But making stuff you want to make is much different than making stuff somebody else wants you to make.
Yeah, unless it just so happens to be exactly the same thing.
Yeah. And yeah, it's
and I think that you guys are digging what we're doing, and other people who maybe aren't watching are enjoying the Challenger shape and the Kaiser blade, and
and that was something that we struggled with a long time ago was getting people to accept our design.
Yeah.
And I think it just takes time. And that was something that we weren't really aware of, that, guitar players are, for the most part, very, very traditional. And as soon as you introduce something, even as different as a shape, sometimes it takes a while for them to like grasp or latch onto that and be like, oh, that is actually, I do like that.
It's not something that happens. The only thing I can think of in my memory that ever was like new enough to be brand new, but familiar enough to be familiar was the Paul Reed Smith in 1985. And it wasn't radically different than anything, but it was bucking the trends of 1985. And it wasn't like, people didn't look at it. People who weren't dumb didn't look at it and go, oh, it's exactly a Strat, or it was its own thing, but it had a lot of other neat stuff in it too.
Must be dumb, because when I first saw it, I thought, well, it's mostly just a Strat.
Okay.
Because I didn't really look into it. And I wasn't really
the dummy
into guitars all that much. And I've never really been a PRS kind of a guy. I've never really even been a Gibson-y kind of a guy.
Yeah.
But I was a little more familiar with some of the Gibson stuff, at least Les Pauls.
Hey, speaking of Yamahas, there's we have a question here from Paul who asks, hey, Texas Toast Guitars and anyone else, do any of you wonderful guys know of any templates or even drawings for a Yamaha SG-2000 type? Which one is that, Chris?
The SG-2000 is the Gibson SG look.
The Santana one? I love that one. Oh, that's one of my favorite ones. I remember when those
Hillier
he still has one, I think. I remember when you could get in the 80s when those were like out there. I don't know when they came out, but man, they were cool.
Yeah, that as much as I'm a Fender fanboy, I think I'm equally a Yamaha fan.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, Yamaha, I don't know that they've ever made bad guitars. They made cheap guitars. They made some that
that didn't go over well in the United States. Well,
and I think that's the thing too, is a lot of their stuff just doesn't play here, but other places, it's the good stuff.
So Paul, I don't know of anyone that is currently producing a template set or drawings of the SG-2000. However,
I may have seen those drawings on there's that Electric Guitar Herald website. I think if you Google Electric Herald template, Herald, Herald, like like the newspaper.
Yeah.
I think I may have seen some drawings on there.
Okay.
Of that guitar.
You know, if you really wanted them, and I mean, you'd have to really want them. Steve at Maximum Guitars would be willing to do them for you if you'd be willing to pay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they're not going to be the least expensive templates that
No.
you've ever had,
Yeah.
but they're going to be cool. And I guarantee you they're going to be accurate. So
That's
yeah.
something we are, well, we've known for a while, but we just keep reinforcing that idea.
Mm-hmm. Somebody
that,
out there?
It looked like somebody was out there.
I think we're okay.
Yeah, that really good templates go a really long way and make your life way easier.
Now,
and
what
you can do it the other way, but if you want to do it over and over, or even a couple of
Yeah.
times, there's somebody out there.
Oh, who is it? Oh, I see.
Oh, we know that person.
I think that if you
Wasn't
could
just some weirdo roaming
no,
the area.
I think that if you had Steve's set of fit all templates for set neck,
Mm-hmm.
you could probably get really close, and then you could freestyle the body.
Yeah.
But I don't know where the
We
neck
saw that
joins
done
the body
last week.
twice. So yeah. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So yeah, really the outline, as it turns out, is the easy part.
Yeah, the outline
It's
is
all
the
that
snap.
other stuff. It's all that other lined up. I
Mhm.
got straight strings going from here to there.
Yep.
It's all that stuff. That's the hard
Yeah.
part.
So what you would need to do is you would need to you need to look at some pictures, find out where the neck joins the body. Maybe we could do a video about how to do that one day. That might actually be fun to just make a Yamaha. I'm not going to do it, but because it's a carved top and they're maple and they're bound and there's a bunch of other
Is
stuff.
it a
but
carved top?
Some definitely where you might could get one that
Mhm.
isn't, but yeah.
Okay.
I know Hillier's is. And the ones
Is
they
it?
had at National Speaker Sound in 1983 were,
Okay.
remember they had like the big stacks of Yamaha amps. I don't know if you ever went in there.
Not then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were in a slightly different location, just even further south of where they were
Mhm.
when they were, for all
forever.
those years. Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, so we want to talk about
What did we call
anything.
this one?
Well, this one's called Your Guitar Sucks.
Oh,
You know why I called it that, Chris?
because yes,
Do you?
because you want to make a T-shirt that says that.
I do want to make a t-shirt that says that. And in fact, I want it to be the t-shirt that you get if you come to one of our Wood, Sweat, and Beers workshops. So on the
Okay.
front, it'll say like Wood, Sweat, and
Uh-huh.
Beers, or, you know, the logo.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And then on the back, it'll say real big,
Uh-huh.
Your Guitar Sucks.
You ain't shit.
Oh, that would be good too. But yeah.
Maybe.
What, and you
Okay.
know how you get that shirt, Chris?
By coming to a Wood, Sweat, and Beers class.
That's right. You know how else you get that?
By coming to a Wood, Sweat, and Beers class.
That's right. There's one other way you can get it.
Wood, Sweat, and Beers class.
You can pay for a Wood, Sweat, and Beers class, and we'll just send you this. You don't have to come.
Oh,
But yeah.
yeah. If you don't, yeah.
So I want to have it
For
be a
not
shirt.
having to put up with you for a week, we'll send you the
Yeah,
shirt.
yeah. So it's not going to be available on the Teespring page.
Okay.
So you can't get it unless it's
Not sold in stores.
not sold in stores. That's right.
Yeah. That seems okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
Paul says it's a through neck. Oh yeah, man. I know
Oh,
that
is
there
it?
is some
Okay.
different stuff. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not that familiar with those.
I want to say there's probably a
models.
set neck, but maybe there isn't. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, so they made that shape in a bunch of different levels.
Mhm.
I do know that. There's 1,000,
Yeah.
there's 2,000, there's
Yeah.
yeah. Yamaha is very Japanese companies are very, very good at naming and numbering the things that they do.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
At the expense of probably Americans like names,
Uh-huh.
catchy words, phrases, things like that.
Mhm.
Japanese are all about numbers.
That reminds me of a guitar that we
Sounds
talked
racist.
about today, and that is the Super Casanova,
The Super Casanova 1, 2, and 3.
a guitar that we haven't made very many of lately.
Mm-mm.
We do have a couple going
We've
right
got
now for
At least
special
one.
orders,
Uh-huh.
but I want to bring that one back.
Uh-huh.
The Super Casanova.
Yeah. Okay.
and I think that's a guitar that basically says, I'm cool and your guitar sucks compared to me. What do you think so the Super Casanova is our version of a Jazzmaster.
And really, it's just a comfort carved. Yeah.
It's an off. It's so it has our neck, and it has a Jazzmaster shape, or you could probably substitute
Some
Jaguar
sort of
shape.
offset,
They're not the same.
Some sort of offset body.
Yeah.
Yeah. With a bunch of contours.
And then
yeah.
but I wanna do a run of them because I really liked them. I thought they were really cool. You have one.
I should, yeah.
Or
I
you have a
bring mine
couple,
in.
maybe.
I have one.
Okay. And
The
I
one
think
true
it would
and
be
holy.
the one true and holy
It's better than
Super Casanova.
everybody else's. Yeah.
Do you think we could build a Super Casanova better than that one? Because that one really was.
Guarantee we can.
Okay.
Not that it's a bad guitar in any way, but
We've
there's
kind of
we can
perfected
do
our
it.
technique.
Yeah. There's things that I won't even say that there's things that I would change about that guitar because I love that guitar.
Yeah.
But with our processes now, yes.
So if we did a limited run or what if we just did a like not even a limited run, but we started making the Super Casanova again, what should it have on it? Guys, I'd like to know what you think. I vote for, because you were saying, well, it doesn't have to have all that stuff.
No, now if I was going to build one for me, it would still have the Jazzmaster trem. It would still have the Jazzmastery kind of bridge.
Okay.
But
what about a Jazzmaster bridge without the trem part? Like for guys who don't like trems, is there?
Well, yeah, but that's what I mean is we could do it as a hardtail.
How would you do that?
It as a Strat trem? There's a couple different ways. I mean, if you wanted it to look like that, we could probably do some sort of cool string through kind of a thing.
Is a Jazzmaster with a Strat trem like lame though, or is it cool?
Some people dig them.
Okay.
It's not my cup of tea, but I'm not like a super Strat trem kind of a guy. I find it gets in the way. I would rather have that guitar as a hardtail.
One of your favorite guitars, one of your favorite features of the Jazzmaster is the trem, not the
about that. Yeah, I just want to put Jazzmaster trems on everything I make.
Yeah,
but I'm aware that other people don't feel that same way. So so yeah, we could offer it up in a bunch of different ways.
Mike says hardtail all the way. Sure. Richard says Dylan P90s.
Yep. So mine
says modern stuff.
There you go. Yeah. Sweet. Yeah.
So Loris Moon says, unless it's a telly, I need a trem. How about Floyd Rose? I think
I would rather not go that way, but we could. So mine. The funny thing is I used to be a big Jazzmaster Jag guy, and
they're super cool.
It's comfort contours and that trem system,
okay,
right? And everything else, that's what I think makes those guitars. But for a long time I thought, scale length and fender radius and none of that actually matters.
Okay,
mine's 24 3/4.
Oh, okay.
It's got two humbucker looking pickups. They're actually single coils,
but they fit the
humbucker
routes.
Yeah, but it's got the Jazzmaster trem and it's got some contours to it.
I think the Super Casanova should have humbucker routes. I could have P90s too.
Yeah, we could do P90s.
But you can also probably have the Jazzmaster trem. Don't you think?
I think that could be an option. I don't think everybody loves that trem. And the funny thing about that trem is you're limited to kind of crappy things that say Fender, really expensive.
Oh yeah. You're right. Okay.
So and if you don't use the trem, and a lot of guys don't, but there's ways around that. There's guys that make plates that go in over that have like
string stoppies.
Yeah. Pokies. Yeah, you could do that.
That'd be cool. Because the thing about that shape, that series is it's got a lot of ass, and so having no bridge back, thing back there is like, well, how come my guitar has this much ass?
Seemingly, but I've seen some I know a guy that everything he does has to have a Strat trem on it, but he loves all the different shapes. And Well, and
Now-
G&L has something
Yeah.
that's similar with
So-
the Stratty trim.
So Brad says that the Jazzmaster with a 2-point strat trim is the bomb. So that's cool.
I think we offer them in all those.
I mean, we
configurations.
certainly could.
It's
Yeah,
not a
we could do
thing.
one with a strat trim, one with a hardtail, and one with a like a mastery option, which would be really cool.
Yeah.
I wish the trans trim by Steinberger was available, says Solaris Moon. Yeah, those were really neat. I think they were kind of ahead of their I think they might have done too much neat stuff that people couldn't wrap their brain around.
The
what it was.
trans trim.
Yeah.
I don't know which one that is.
You
That
could
what
actually
was-
lock that into a thing and it would be in tune in another key. And it was a pretty neat deal.
Oh, okay. That's,
The transposing tremolo. is
oh,
what that-
that's totally a different trim than I thought you
Yeah.
were talking about.
yeah.
Yeah.
Driddle's here hanging out with us.
I thought that
Um,
was the trim that thought it was a hardtail.
Oh,
It identified as a hardtail.
that's pretty good, Chris. You are
Nice.
funny.
Sometimes
So
I get lucky. Sometimes they fall flat.
let's talk more about your guitar sucks.
Okay.
So how do you make sure your guitar doesn't suck?
So something that we talked about earlier, I don't know if this is the answer you were looking for, is no matter how good of a guitar you have or how much you love your guitar, somebody's going to tell you that your guitar sucks.
Yeah, you're right. So in that scenario, there's nothing you can do because
Yeah,
there's
so-
buttholes everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you have to be confident in your guitar.
Yeah.
And yeah, whether it's kind of that whole I bought this used guitar or this old guitar, and it's really cool because it's one of the good ones.
Yeah.
Well, why did the guy sell it if it was one of the good ones?
it's so
what
good.
makes the good one a good
Now-
one and bad one a bad one? And usually, I think it's jealousy
May I ask?
dictates the bad part.
So how do I know you're not being a butthole when you say, well, how do you know you got one of the good ones?
I am being a butthole. when
Oh,
I
okay.
say
Okay.
it.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So,
It's
yeah,
just-
you
it's
have
just
to
a funny
like your
thing.
gu- yeah.
Yeah. I think you have to like your guitar, and people find all sorts of reasons to not like guitars,
okay.
and you can also find all sorts of reasons to like a guitar.
Yeah.
And ultimately, you're the one playing it. You have to like it,
Mhm.
and it doesn't matter what everybody else says.
I disagree. I think it totally matters what everybody says. What
you think?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I don't think that. But let me ask you this. Do you think that a Squire is just as good as a Fender custom shop?
No.
No, me neither. Even if it was made on the exact same guy going like this, ka-chunk,
Yeah,
ka-chunk,
yeah,
ka-chunking it
yeah.
out.
Uh-huh.
To me, a Squire is a knockoff. Now, it doesn't mean that it's not
Yeah.
good, but it also doesn't say Fender on it.
Well, so this all comes right back to that whole only real Fenders are made in America. And
Sure.
everything else is
Sure, and everything, and you know what? You know
and
what's
I would even argue.
you know what's
that
cool about a
anything-
knockoff?
Anything made after 1985 is a knockoff.
Yeah, you're probably right.
but that's not really true.
Having a knockoff is I don't know. It's just sort of sometimes you can
Yeah.
get something really excellent
Mhm.
for a significantly lower price than the
Mhm.
thing that just has the name brand slapped on it. And I mean, that things happen,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and there's a lot of subjective
Mm-hmm.
stuff too, but sometimes if you pay bananas, don't be surprised if you get monkeys, right? I mean, yeah. So
Okay.
or if you pay bananas, don't be surprised if everyone come up to you and starts talking about your guitar is a monkey. So because at some point, oh, my knockoff is just as good. Oh, well, here, I would like to trade you my genuine article
Mhm.
for your just as good one. Oh, no, that's okay. I won't. I don't
Yeah,
need to do that.
Yeah.
So
pass.
yeah, so if your Squire is so excellent, let me ask you, if given the opportunity to trade straight across for the genuine article, would you do it?
Yes.
Of course, everybody would.
Everybody would every single time.
And it doesn't matter
Yeah.
what the thing is, if it's a guitar or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but then there's lots
Fake
of different
purse.
ways.
I don't know. Yeah.
There's lots of different ways to look at all of this, and there's lots of different reasons for buying and reasons for owning, and and,
turds candy just as good as nerds.
yeah.
Would you buy it?
No.
Yeah, that's
no,
right.
No, they're a little larger.
And they're
Yeah.
all the same color, brown.
Light chocolate, and dark chocolate.
TERD turds
Uh-huh.
candy, just as good as nerds.
Yeah.
But
Uh-huh.
yeah, they're just not as colorful. I wouldn't buy them.
No.
I
don't
mean,
know
I would
that
buy them
either.
to see if you would eat them, but yeah.
Yeah, I would probably still eat them if somebody else bought them. Yeah, at some point, I don't know. I've owned a lot of guitars. I've owned a lot of cheap stuff. I've owned some really, really nice stuff. I've
Yeah.
owned vintage stuff. At this point, I want to have something just slightly different than
Yeah.
most people have, and that's kind of everything that I do in life is that way. I've always liked, kind of off-brand stuff and things that not everybody had. I don't I don't buy Kleenex.
Okay.
I'll buy the Scots.
In our house, you do not buy a cotton swab that doesn't say Q-tip on it.
Well,
That's just
I've gone down that path, and you are correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are certain things, but there's no juice in I'm a Johnson and Johnson fan to the end.
Yeah.
Nobody
Well, yeah.
cares.
No one
Yeah,
gives a
yeah,
toss.
Yeah.
What yeah.
Ooh, well, yeah. I'm gonna hang out with you
Yeah.
because you know Q-tips.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought knockoff Q-tips.
Mhm.
And they're
Once.
crap.
Once.
I might have done it twice.
Okay. Really?
Yeah. It's just at the end you're just digging with a stick. That's the
In your
problem,
ear.
Yeah, and you're like, what the yeah. Damn, it's like a poker. It's like, yeah, shish kebab over
Yeah.
here.
That's no fun.
Yeah, and you're not supposed to put them in your ears. So kids, don't put them in your ears.
I want to talk about
Not sure how you're supposed to clean your ears.
Let's come back to your guitar sucks here in a second. But you did a PSA just a second ago for cotton swabs.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
I had a young man call me today. Maybe he wasn't a young man. I don't know. He was on the phone. I couldn't see him. Anyway, his name was Steve. Nice guy.
Uh-huh.
Had a bunch of questions about Simtech sealer, and he was going away from using nitrocellulose finish, and he was going to use modern finish.
Uh-huh.
And he had not ever done it before, and he called me.
And he was in a panic. That's what it sounded like to me.
Yeah, he was actually pretty
Not really,
pretty
but
cool about the whole thing, but he had some questions about Simtech and what coatings we use on top of that, and he'd watched some of the videos and anyway, nice guy. But he started asking me questions that I think would have been better for, and I even said to him, that would be a great question for the guys at Simtech, to which he said, I just got off the phone with them. And he's like, well, so how many coats of Simtech do you use? And I'm like, well, it kind of depends on
You said as many as it takes.
I said that was an easy one to answer, as many as it takes.
Mhm.
And what's how do you feel about that when people call and go, hey, how do I do this? Part of me says you kind of got to figure it out because I don't know when you spray, because I don't spray a lot of sealer, but I know when I do it, it looks very different from when you do it. It looks very different from when Mike Learn does it. And for all I know, when this guy sprays sealer, it's going to look very different from when he does it too.
Yeah. Well, and I think all of this stuff is things. We talked so much about this last week, and so much of guitar building is knowing how to fix your mistakes. Sure. But it's not necessarily, it's not a mistake until you can't, or it's not it's you can overcome all of this stuff until you can't. And Simtech and a bunch, if there's not enough, you put more on the next time. If there's too much, you sand it off.
More off.
Yeah. And it's an easy product to work with. And we don't put enough on sometimes, put too much on. Wood isn't completely homogeneous.
Yeah.
Unlike our nachos,
wood
is not completely homogeneous. And when we were doing 17 Challenger Juniors, and most of them were made out of, all of them were made out of the same woods, but not all of them took the Simtac and the paint the same way.
Yeah.
You know? And so you kind of have to go with the flow and go with what you got. And yeah, it's you put a bunch on, put a bunch more on, you sand it off.
Yeah.
Put some more on, maybe you don't. I don't know. These are all things you have to learn on your own.
Well,
and you have to not be scared to charge forward on this stuff. The first time
and that's a great way to make sure your guitar doesn't suck, is to kind of work through some of this stuff.
Yeah, and go, well, and yeah, is there enough sealer on here that I can put a finish on and it's going to look good?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. Put
a
finish on and see.
Yeah, you have to kind of see.
Or I mean, we always say, if you can see a flaw in the sealer coat, you're going to see it in the finish.
Yeah.
There you go. There's your answer.
If it looks like shit and you paint it, it's going to look like paintage.
Yeah. It could be shiny, but it's still going to be shit.
It's going to be shiny
shit. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember those. We did those first. How many do we do? 3 or 4 super?
Those original
Casanova LTDs.
Those are the first guitars that we did.
And there were, I remember there were some that were like, these look like great. And then we shot we actually sprayed nitrocellulose and acrylic lacquer over them, which worked fine. But there were some that I'm like, oh, there's a pock mark there.
Yeah.
And
and you gotta learn how to look at your sealer coats and figure all that stuff out. And the neat thing about building guitars is you can always build another.
You get to build a lot.
Yeah. And you can worry. I've seen people worry stuff to death for months and months and months, and then still do it wrong. Just go for it. Do it.
So if you guys have any questions about paint, if I happen to answer the phone, I will talk to you about paint. If you send an email, though, I probably won't answer you. The reason that is one, if you guys have questions, I do this a lot. We do this live thing once a week, and you can ask questions about paint on this.
That's where I would like to answer them,
because everybody
sign yourself up to answer the phone a bunch.
Well, because I looked. I don't know who this is. I'm just going to answer it, but I rarely answer the phone.
Right.
And if he left a message, I would not have called back. Not because I don't like him, but because I just don't have, because if I do that, there might be, how many people watching? There might be 93 people who want to know the exact same answer. So we could tell everybody, or we could just tell Steve, which, that's cool too. But so I had
and ask questions here.
I had another guy send me a video comment, and he sent an email about what bits we used in the router table. He said but I think what he was talking about is the shaper. And I'm like, I'm not going to answer that on video form or email or phone call, because there could be a lot of people who want to know the answer to that. And I've already covered that in videos. So I realize, though, that we have a buttload of content and you can't go back and watch it all. So I'm going to tell you, the oversized thing that we use for the shaper is from Shellooe. The oversized bits that we use in the router table come from Infinity Tools. Aside from that, Shellooe and Infinity Tools do not pay me anything to push their products. So, yeah, I mean, they work. But, yeah, you try them out. Get one for yourself and find out.
That's what I think is, try it out. And, don't think.
And don't blame me if it doesn't work. Because I'm not affiliated with this. Yeah.
Right. Because there's you don't just chuck up a tool and go for it. There's a learning curve on virtually every tool.
Every tool.
Yeah.
And especially something like the shaper, that thing gets real sporty, real fast. I would say this, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, but if you do not know the difference between a shaper and a router table, do not get the Shellooe 3-inch cutting head and just start going for it, because it ain't the same thing.
Yeah.
So
the shaper is the one tool in the shop that I'm still not 100% on every time I approach it.
Yeah.
I've had just enough run-in with that tool.
Yeah.
And we don't necessarily, I don't do that much wood anymore. Certainly not that part of it.
Yeah.
But I'm still, a little, I don't know.
It's it commands your respect.
Yeah, and
it
don't
insists on.
I don't think that I'm going to get hurt with
Mhm.
it, but I very well may hurt my project.
Yep.
With that tool.
Yep.
And nobody likes to tear up wood.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and that's the other thing. If you're journeying into building guitars, it's going to be something that you're not just going to build a guitar.
Yeah.
It's not like a fence.
No.
Yeah, you're not just going to put up a fence and by the last slat you're going to go, oh man, I totally got this.
I killed this fence. Yeah.
And that's it. You're going to build a guitar and you're going to build a guitar and you're going to build a guitar. And you need to learn as you go and march forward.
Yeah.
You know, if you do a guitar a year, you do 2 guitars a year. Don't do a guitar every 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rod says, I asked Matt a question by email this week. He answered it and then sent me an invoice. Rod, I am
Those are the emails you will.
I am so
on.
looking forward to seeing Rod again. It's been way too long since Rod.
How long has
Rod
it been
has
since
been out
Rod
here.
was here? I think it was last
a
November.
year. Yeah.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he came out twice last year.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him once this year, I think.
Well, the year ain't over yet.
Well, that's what
I
mean,
know he's coming out. Mm-hmm. So,
because he is coming out.
You know, if there's one way that you can, so speaking of wood and speaking of shapers and speaking of guitars that don't suck, and speaking of Rod's question that he asked, you guys have 6 days to get in on the Challenger Deluxe pre-order special introductory price.
Which guitar is that?
So that is the Challenger. It's basically a Challenger standard with a P90 in the bridge and a Charlie Christian pickup in the neck. And it is so choice that everybody who sees it is like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yep.
So Rod bought one.
You can go back and watch the video where we revealed that guitar for Jim Jam Jimmy.
Yep.
His name might be on the it's not in the title.
I don't know. No, because he didn't know he was getting that guitar.
Yeah. You should just change it.
We should. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so if you go to the website, texastoastguitars.com, and you look, I think it's buy now, or what is that what it is, Joy? Buy now. You can click on Challenger Deluxe pre-order, and it's $100 down, and $100 down locks in the price. And we've got 8 of them going right now, and they're like way further along than they ought to be, because I'm moving fast on these because I want to get them done quickly. I actually talked to Pete Biltoff at Vintage Vibe Pickups today, because we have to have ours made. They're slightly different than the his regular CC Rider pickup. It's, instead of being 2.5 inches on center to center. The adjustment holes, they're 1 5/8 off. So,
we customized that one.
Yeah. So you can get that guitar for the introductory price and lock that price in for only $100. Those guitars are going to be ready. I would bet you that before Rod comes out in November, those guitars will be done. Tell me I'm lying. It's not. They're not.
No, yeah. It's not. Yeah. If all goes well,
you know who's getting. You know who else thought that was totally rad and is getting one of those?
No.
Cesar Rosas from Los Lobos wants one. So we are building him one too.
Lefty.
Yep, a lefty.
And we're gonna put a sticker of a coyote on there.
We are.
No.
Wouldn't it be a wolf?
It would.
A wolf badge.
It would be a Los Lobos.
A Los Lobos. The Los Lobos.
Like I said, some of them fall flat.
Yeah, they can't all be home runs, Chris. Let's see. Driddle says, rumor has it that the JJJ signature guitar comes in a case lined with women's underpants that were thrown at him on stage. He didn't say underpants. He said underwear, but I don't like to say underwear. I like to say underpants. I'm not going to say that's not true. So Loring is very active today, but I think I'm missing a lot of his stuff. He's talking about how he disagrees with me on the Squire thing. I think I saw,
Which
and then
part?
I don't know. Maybe he says that if he got a really awesome Squire,
Yeah.
he wouldn't trade it for a custom shop Fender one.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
Early
Squires. So we're
Squires.
talking
Okay.
about early 80s Japanese Squires.
You know what? If I had an early
Sure.
80s Japanese Squire, I would trade it in a second for a custom shop Fender. In a second.
if
so
somebody offered
fast
you
it'd
a-
make your head
If
spin.
somebody offered you a real live 57 Strat for your real fake 82 Japanese Squire,
so fast it'd
57,
make your head spin.
Yeah.
How about this?
Yeah.
If
Is it a
somebody
good guitar?
offered
Is it way
me
better
a
than it should be, yeah.
okay. If somebody offered me a reissue 57 Strat made
Yeah.
today, I would take it over a Japanese Squire.
Probably.
All day,
Yeah.
every day,
Yeah.
and twice on Sunday.
Yeah. And there's different reasons for buying guitars, and there's different buyers, and there's even guys that are into all sorts of different stuff. Like I have really, really expensive stuff. I have really bargain stuff that should cost more. That's a thing.
Mhm.
So guitars are fun. One of the things for me is I can only have so many guitars at one time.
Yeah.
You know,
I can't afford to have
I've
lots and lots
exceeded
of
that
guitars.
limit, and I've exceeded that limit with a bunch of cheap stuff, and really at this point, I might as well just have some really cool stuff that I like.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, most of that is stuff that I've made or stuff that nobody else has.
Every time I contemplate, I think, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sell off a bunch of these things and get one really nice thing. You know what I do? I just buy the really nice thing and then I forget to sell off the.
Keep
Yeah,
all the
I
other stuff.
forget.
I have a bike collection like that
Yeah.
currently. Yeah.
Hey,
My neighbor
so
came over last night. And he's like, "You sure have a lot of bicycles."
you do.
I do.
So I have so I want to talk about Chris Bullis says a Challenger with Les Paul custom specs would be cool. Can we show off one? Can we show off a
Well-
couple guitars that don't suck?
Sure.
So guys, if you want a guitar that doesn't suck, may I recommend the Texas Toast Deluxe Challenger right in the front there?
Yeah, so it's sort of,
And you can lock in the
Sort of.
introductory price for the rest of the month. You can lock in the introductory price on the this is not it, but you can lock in the Challenger Deluxe with the Charlie Christian neck pickup for only $100. Now, if you're interested in a Challenger with LP custom appointments, that is to say, multiply binding and block inlays and the Black Beauty. Woo! Get a load of that. This one has Steve Morse pickups because they're white. We could have gone with a chrome, but we didn't.
Mhm.
We'd be happy to build you a custom Challenger custom, with or without tremolo, and with or if you wanted a Tune-o-matic, we can do that for you.
Sure.
That's actually on the website right now, Chris. If you want to put your dinero where you put your dinner, Chris, can we look at that one over there too that Mike brought over? We have that ready to go right now. So speaking of another guitar that doesn't suck, what do you think about, guys? What do you think about Super Strats? Mike Learn
I am a
just
fan.
dropped off the latest build and paint with Mike Learn. This is I don't know what we're going to call this, but this is a build and paint with Mike workshop that we're going to be offering in 2023. And you could do the shrunken head. I think he's got like a skull one.
He's got a skull.
So
that's
whoever
gonna go
says
there.
needs a neck,
Yeah.
don't worry. We've got a neck for it.
It's
Brad
fun.
says, sign me up. Black Dog Sheep says, that's awesome. That's Zed, right?
Yes.
So,
I think they're still talking about the other guitar.
oh, well, yeah. So,
And now they're talking about this guitar. Go.
okay. So this is a workshop. You know what? So Mike came over and he's like, what pickup should we use? And you know what? First thing that came to my mind was, why don't we offer this with The body's ready to paint.
Mhm.
So it's basically a strap body, Floyd Rose trim, because it's Mike, so it's got a Floyd.
Mhm.
It's a super strat. It's got a Floyd. One humbucker, and we thought, why don't we have Dylan come out for that one, and you can wind. So like the weekend before, you wind the humbucker.
Mhm.
Then like you could probably do that in one day, maybe even. I don't know. Dylan, if you're out there, let me know.
Or sign me up for a bunch of stuff, Dylan.
Yeah, and then you show up and you get the body ready to, it's sealed up and ready to paint.
Mhm.
You get the Floyd, you get the neck and all the hardware and stuff to make it go. You get to fret the neck and all that shit. Maybe we could even do it in 5 days if there's no neck shaping component.
Yeah, there won't be a neck shaping component to
Because
this one.
we're going to
And
be using the maximum
it could
guitar
be,
necks.
yeah, this could be the most expensive class we ever did. If there's Mike Learn, Dylan,
Right?
you, and me
Yep.
involved, yeah, this would be.
Solaris Moon says, I'd be willing to pay for a top dollar model if it's a Texas. Thank you so much, sir. That is very kind of you, my
What
friend.
did he say?
He said that as long as it says Texas Toast on, he'd be willing to pay top
cool.
dollar.
There you go.
Dylan says, hum bucket one day. He doesn't know if that is, I don't think he can,
Yeah.
he doesn't know if that's necessarily possible.
What if he wound one coil and brought those, and you got to wind a coil and put it together and do it?
I don't know.
And he wound the bullshit coil.
This one is, it's got some fingerprints on it.
It's
So
got
look at this
fingerprints and
big
it's
cavity.
not
This should have a
done.
rat pedal built into it.
Yeah. That's what we should do. Yeah. We could get a pedal guy to come out. We could get what's his name
Mhm.
from Fu Manchu to come out, and we could put little Brad Davis.
We could get Brad Davis to wind.
Put
Yeah.
little
You
fuzz
could do a
pedals
little-
in
little
there.
fuzz pedal.
Yeah,
That would be
yeah, Brad,
rad.
We need a very small fuzz pedal. Can you do it?
Yep. Fat Philosopher says, Matt, you recommend the Hipshot trim, right? Yes, sir, I do. I love the Hipshot trim. Dylan says
It's so
that was a
smooth.
mistype. It's totally done in one day. So Dylan thinks that we could totally do a one. Dylan, correct me if I'm wrong. You get to wind a humbucker in one day,
Yeah.
and then you get to
Same
make.
coils.
You know, I mean, I think we could probably do it during the week too. So you didn't have to come out. It could be a 5-day workshop.
That could
I'm
be
just
paint drying day.
paint drying day. So yeah, so you get
Yeah.
to, and so now all of this pinstripe work is that's a mask. This, if you wanted to do this guy, it's a mask. Mike's gonna have like a skull one and some other
skull.
creepy shit going on too. That you could do that. I don't
There's a
know.
bunch of creepy shit.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
spooky monster
Uh-huh.
stuff. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the guitar has kind of like some kind of fun.
This one's pretty dark, but
Yeah. So like it's got
there's-
some like
It's not
rust
going to show up, but yeah.
kind of
It
stuff
sorta
on it.
looks distressed.
Yeah. So
we
this
think this one's going to end up in satin, right?
this is going to
just
be in
a-
satin because I
this
love
is
it.
A clear coat to protect the airbrush work
Yeah.
currently.
Paul asks, hold on. So, all right. Variax electronics would be neat. I don't even know if you can get that stuff. I think you have to buy an old Variax to put it in the guitar to do if you want to do that. Paul says the TTG Challenger Deluxe looks sweet. Audio demo. Working on that, my friend.
Yeah,
Working on that.
Yeah. The funny thing about YouTube and audio demos, and I actually watched a video from Mary Spender earlier this week. And she
Is
was
that one of
talking-
those one of the judges? For
Yeah,
the,
she was. Yeah, and she's really cool.
Nice lady. Yeah.
And yeah, and I wouldn't call her a lady. I'd call her a cool chick.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. But anyway, she was talking about how hard it is to make. It's one thing to go out and play live in front of people, because most people are, a mistake passes through and blah blah
Mhm.
blah, and how hard it is to make something for YouTube. And there's
Ah.
a lot of people that say YouTube creators can't play,
Mhm.
and that's not true. It's just very, very difficult to play live on YouTube. And it's also very difficult to capture something and be able to put it onto YouTube that
Yeah.
somebody's not going to go, you suck.
And it's right back to your guitar sucks.
Yes.
Your
Yeah.
tone
Uh-huh.
sucks.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't play. Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's
so
real easy to like. It's real easy to talk smack,
it really is.
and it's quite another thing to.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay, come on out and show me what you got.
Yeah,
big
yeah.
shooter.
Come by
Yeah.
the shop and warm up for an hour.
Yeah, sure.
And as soon as we turn on the camera, you're gonna go, ugh.
Yep.
But anyway,
Not everybody,
so
but a lot.
A lot of people, and even good guitar players. We've had good guitar players in here do stuff like that,
Mhm.
and you can watch them get more comfortable, even over the course of 10 or 15 minutes.
Sure.
They get better with it, and at the end, they're like, "Can we redo that?
Redo
first
that?
one?"
Nah,
Yeah, it's fine. But anyway, we want to do something good.
Yeah.
And our live feed isn't good enough that we can demo guitars.
So what we would have to be pre-recorded.
So it'd have to be pre-recorded.
And oftentimes if it's pre-recorded, we get can we go back and do it again?
Yeah, well, and so that's a whole lot of extra work, but we will do it.
Yes.
We want to do it. It's just it's not as easy as turning on the camera and going, okay, now play monkey.
Do your trick, monkey.
Go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how many people have recorded themselves or watched recordings of themselves where they thought, man, I played really, really good.
Or just listening to their own voice.
Yeah.
I love the sound of my own
Yeah.
voice.
And at the end, you're like, oh, man, that was terrible.
So
That's what Kiss found when they did the live record. They were like, man, we're really tight. This is really good. Let's just record it. And they went back and went, oh,
wah,
no.
wah, wah.
Yeah. And they fixed it, and even fixed. It's not that great.
Yeah. Captures the essence of the live show.
In a lot of ways, I think it probably does. That's how you think you remember it, but it was probably way worse than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we'll ever get to the bottom of does your guitar suck or not, but I think it would be a cool t-shirt.
I think the idea that your guitar sucks, mine are all good, is a thing. Yeah, I don't know why anybody should care about anybody else's guitar.
I do. I think everybody should be shamed into buying one of my guitars.
Well, yeah, that's one thing. That's the retail, the commercial version of that story. But if you're not actively selling guitars, if you're not actively building guitars for sale, what do you care about anybody else's guitar?
Let me ask you a very pointed question, Chris.
Okay.
Do you think there should be a couple new Texas Toast t-shirts on the Teespring site? Sub question, should one of them say on the back, your guitar sucks?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, I'd like to know what you think.
I like t-shirts. I like fun slogans.
Okay.
I think we should bring back the Texas Toast shirt that just says
Texas with no guitars.
With nothing else on it. Yeah. That is I've gotten more compliments or more comments on that shirt than any other.
Doug
thinks it's about breakfast. Yeah.
Doug Santaniello says that he wants the Black Challenger Custom and the Paduke Daily Driver.
I told you.
I'm you know what I kind of think I'm going to do? I kind of think I'm just going to send Doug an invoice for I'm going to make him a deal.
It's the friends and family discount.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll make him a deal that reflects.
Maybe the stepbrother discount.
No, not the brother-in-law. Like a genuine deal. And see if he pays it. All right, maybe we'll do that.
I think that's the way to go about this.
Right? Okay, because sometimes you send Doug an invoice and he's just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, because let's be honest. Last week, Doug had some vodka a couple of times, and sometimes you're not.
We
really
had
sure where...
so much fun hanging out with those guys
absolutely.
last week.
Yeah,
it was
and you're not
so
really sure,
fun.
But he keeps bringing up those two guitars. So
okay,
I think he needs to own those two guitars. Yep.
Solaris Moon says that he wishes someone would make a stencil for pinstriping. That way you don't have to buy special brushes. Well, sir, here you go.
Yeah.
Mike Learn at Learn Guitars would be happy to help you out. Or you could just come to this workshop.
Yeah.
Something
about that too. I mean, they do make stencils and you can buy stencils for that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know whose guitar doesn't suck?
All of mine.
This is the part where we plug all of the people who help us out.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You know whose guitar doesn't suck, Chris?
The good folks at Tonewood Experts.
Tonewood. Yes. All the people who have guitars made by from the same wood that Dan and Calvin from Tonewood Experts are happy to sell you. Guys, link in the description below. If you want to save a little bit of money, type in, I think it's Texas Toast 15 at checkout in the discount code thing, and you'll save a little bit of money from your whole purchase at Tone Wood Experts. By the way, all of the wood that we use for our workshops comes from Tone Wood Experts. So I love it that much. In fact, I need to order a bunch more mahogany from Dan.
And it really tomorrow. It really is superior.
It's the good stuff.
It really is.
And it's the
not
genuine.
It's not just Matt and Chris. Saying it's better. It's better.
You know who else's guitars don't suck? John and Cheryl at Bitterroot Guitars. You know why?
Because they don't make guitars.
Actually, John does.
He does. Well, yeah, but they don't sell them on Bitterroot.
They do, but it's a different website. You really need to get up on that. All right, so. But here's why though, because John bought one of the recession specials.
He did, yeah.
Can we do we have time to show off our recession special?
Sure,
the one remaining recession special.
Let's keep
so
talking.
John and Cheryl. Oh, you know that's not a problem for me, sir. So John and Cheryl at Bitterroot Guitars are some of my favorite people in the industry and just people in general. They're very, very nice, super, super excellent people. And if you use code TXTOAST at checkout, you get 15% off your entire order from Bitterroot Guitars as well. And so John bought one of 4 of the recession special daily drivers. These are awesome, and this is the only one left.
4. Yeah, we
sold 4 of 4.
Yeah, which was I thought fun.
Yeah, so number 4 of 4. It's ready to go. It comes with 2 pick guards. So when you go on the forum and say, hey guys, which pick guard should I use? You don't have to order it. You can just you can plop the Tort one on there. I love this guitar.
And then somebody will say,
Tort needs Tort. Yeah, needs Tort. So all of these necks are our what are these wood? These are our Wood, Sweat, and Beers necks made by Steve at Maximum Guitar Works specifically for us. And if you have a guitar made by Steve at Maximum Guitar Works, your guitar doesn't suck either. And if you come out to one of our courses, you get a discount from Steve. Steve is kind of a mad scientist and has all kinds of super cool stuff going all the time. I wish Steve lived closer than an hour and 20 minutes away. And I also don't wish that because I'd be over there all the time. You know what I mean? So Steve at Maximum Guitar Works, he helps the channel, so help him out. I would also like to thank Chris and Dina from Odyssey Beer Works, the great American beer works. We spent a little bit of time over at Odyssey in the whole last couple weeks is sort of blurred together. Was it last weekend we were there? Mm-hmm. And then we actually saw Chris and Dina at the Elvis Costello show on Tuesday night. That was fun. You know what the best part about that was, Chris?
Los Straitjackets?
No,
Charlie Sexton?
Yeah, Charlie Sexton was Elvis Costello's guitar player. How cool is that?
It's pretty cool.
And I love Los Straitjackets, but cooler by far was Charlie Sexton with Elvis Costello. And you asked me, did it sound like, did they ever let him go? And he didn't do Beat So Lonely with Elvis Costello or anything.
Right. Yeah.
But there was a handful of times where it sounded like Stevie Ray was playing with Elvis Costello, which was pretty neat.
I think what I want.
Yeah.
And
Nick Lowe.
You and I have some Los Straitjacket stories that we could tell someday.
We do have some Los Straitjacket stories that we can tell someday. And Nick Lowe, I love Nick Lowe. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I forgot that song that I love that Nick Lowe wrote. Yeah. So
the funny thing about the Nick Lowe Los Straitjacket stuff is it doesn't sound like Nick Lowe with Los Straitjackets. It sounds like Los Straitjackets with Nick
You're
Lowe.
right. You're right.
Yeah, I mean it's still very much Los Straitjackets.
Yeah.
And I love those guys. I think that whole shtick is just brilliant. And they pulled it off for forever. And
we've got a couple of questions, but we've got only a few more minutes here. Is number 4 black or dark blue? This is black.
It's
sir.
Black. It's
jet black, like Roy Orbison's hair. When are you gonna have Steve on again?
Yeah.
How's my template set? Brad, I don't know the answer to that. But
set's so nice.
It's gonna be so good. Dan wants to know reveal tomorrow. Reveal tomorrow, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Sure, we can show some stuff off, even if it's
not
a
okay, cool.
Even if it's not a thing, maybe we'll do a reveal review.
All right. Cool.
That could be a thing.
I'd also like to thank who else are we missing? The good people at Flipside Music, the great American guitar store. Their guitars don't suck.
Except for the Squires.
Except for the Squires. Nigel at Forstner Guitars. His guitars don't suck and his tools don't suck. We use them. And if you guys want to read his ebook, that is available. The link in the description below. You can find Nigel's ebook, and it's worth the read. I urge you to check it out. Do we miss anybody else? Who did we miss?
Your Rick Nielsen.
Oh, that's right. Rockin' Vodka.
Yeah.
Now Rockin' Vodka is not paying us right now.
No, but to be honest,
just
yeah. It's
we talked about Flipside Music, the great American guitar store. Chris, you kind of never mind.
We're gonna keep rolling. All I said was not everybody's paying us.
That's
Some
true.
Of these are friends and family.
Friends and family.
Yeah.
Fiends and family.
Yeah.
Of course, we forgot Dylan McCurchie and Leslie from Dylan Pickups. Guys, if you are interested in one of the coolest sets of pickups you can get, still made by the actual guy, Dylan Pickups. And if you use the link in the description below, you get 15% off and we get a little taste. See, you don't know. So anyway,
and we just got a new mountain bike, so he needs to, pay for that mountain bike.
All right. Mark says, regarding the September class, what's a good day to leave? Friday night or Saturday? Mark, I'm going to get back to everybody who signed up for classes. I've got to keep, I'm way behind on, just don't worry about it. I've got to catch up on class emails and stuff. I'm already late. Dylan's probably already started. If I keep saying Rod and Vodka enough, it will happen, says Brad Guitar Miller. You know what, Brad? You are probably more right than even I know. So thank you guys for hanging out. Go ahead, sir.
I will say, if you think that you're going to leave on Friday night, you should leave on Saturday if you can make that a thing for not much more money, because there's always fun shit happening on Friday night.
Absolutely. And Mark, I'm going to send out stuff tomorrow. So guys, we will talk to you tomorrow for the reveal. I have no idea what we're going to reveal, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Be a paint chip.
We'll check you out over at Dylan's page here in just a little bit. Take care, everybody. Have a great night.